All right. Another year is almost in the books for all of us. It's been an interesting one for me. Um, some good, some disappointments, some exciting developments on the horizon, and well, actually in the rear view a little bit too. In this, the 178th episode of Flipping Genius. I'm your host, Randy Lee. We're going to review a few of those things, but more importantly, I think, I'm going to share the number one most profitable technique that I use and have used for decades to gain opportunities, uh, new projects that will garner substantial profits, buyers for the projects when they're ready to be sold, suppliers for of all forms, to to keep the costs down low, to get the projects completed on time and with the best quality, the best end results for what I'm willing to invest, and sources for everything from parts to advertising, insurance, accounting, financial advising, and pretty much everything else that I've done in business and will continue to do into the future as long as I have the desire to do it, um, which I imagine will be right up until they write my obituary. Um, I've heard it said that if you love what you do, it never feels like work. And honestly, I can't say that I'm quite that lucky, but I can say that most days I feel pretty damn lucky to be blessed with the set of skills, knowledge, and opportunities that I've been afforded. And it has been my pleasure to share this information with you, um, with the number one goal of all we do here at Flipping Genius, to help you make more money. So let's get to it. Making more money is not just a goal that I have for you. It's also one of my top priorities for my car flipping enterprises. And with that in mind, I want to share one of the numbers from my annual production analysis sheet, and that number is 94. Now I've talked about this sheet that I track in the past, and a lot of you guys actually use the same one now. 94, the number is actually my average return on investment this year, the year 2023, in case you're listening to this at a different time or watching this at a different time, because I know there's this long shelf life on this kind of stuff. But yeah, as of this date, I think it's the 18th of December 2023, and as of this date, the vehicles that we have flipped this year, that is our average return on investment, 94%. So in other words, each dollar that I invested in projects that have been completed and sold, I've wound up with an additional 94 cents. So $1.94 total after deducting all my costs, including insurance, taxes, accounting, licensing, and all the other overhead that I have. I've taken each dollar and turned it into $1.94. And that's an increase from 63% last year and 80% in 2021. So frankly, this tells me that I am working smarter and generating more profit from my efforts. And that is one of my main goals, of course. Since time is an asset that we literally cannot get more of, the more I make of the time that I'm afforded, the better. And another reason that this number is very important to me is because I feel it justifies and verifies the ideas and techniques that I've been sharing with you on Flipping Genius for these years. Frankly, ROI is a return on investment, is the measurable that I match up with on all of my business interests. And I think this ROI 94 matches up really well with anything I do or have done. You think about it. If you sell a piece of real estate, for instance, that you have a total of $100,000 into it, including all your improvements and overhead costs and everything. If you can turn around and sell that for $194,000 in a reasonable amount of time, the only question you'll likely be asking yourself is, how do I get more of this stuff? And I that's exciting, because this year has been difficult in a lot of ways in the car business. But the fact is, in a per deal basis, I think it's been as good as it ever has. And that's essentially where I'm at with my assessment of my completed deals. I'm pleased with that. I am really pleased with it. I hope that you're experiencing the same thing. I mentioned that I've had some disappointment from this year too. And my main disappointment in the car flipping business side of things is precisely that I did not complete more deals. For me, the main reason I have not been able to complete more deals, or I shouldn't say been able, it's because I have done what I told you I would do. I have stuck to my numbers, to my formulas, to my game plan, and this has kept me out of trouble for the most part. It's put me in a position where I've nearly doubled my money, but it's also limited those opportunities. So what I'm saying is, it was my choice to not be involved in more deals, because I saw those deals as likely not to be profitable. And seriously, what is the point of that? I'm here to make money. I'm in the car flipping business to make money. And so, keeping that in mind, I didn't come across the deals that I wish that I could, and that I have in the past, as far as the numbers. But the ones I did come across, boom, we're making the money that I expect to. I always shoot for 100%. To be honest, that's my goal. So 94 is pretty close, but I did not hit the 100, but pretty solid. Another exciting development this year, as I had mentioned, there's a couple developments I wanted to share with you, is the growth of the Flipping Genius Car Flipping Forum, where we can all share our ideas, our experiences, as well as our help, or ask for help and guidance. The group has recently surpassed 1,000 members, and it's really starting to grow now. And at the current pace, we could very well be double that size by this time next year. And while the group is free to join, I am very cautious to not allow new members in that won't abide by the rules. And the reason, for the group, this keeps the membership meaningful and the input valuable. I have another group where we turn away about 4,000 membership requests monthly in this other group. So I'm aware of how important it is to keep the spammers and scammers out. And if you're not a member of the Car Flipping Forum, you can find a link in the show notes wherever you're listening or watching this, or just go to flippinggenius.com, FLIPPINGENIUS.com, only one G in there, and click on the link there. Please take a moment to answer the 3 questions that we ask to protect our membership, and then once you're a member, please participate often. And that's the purpose. Work together to make more money. So if you're not a member yet, come join. Okay, I promised to share the #1 most profitable technique that I use and have used for decades to gain new opportunities of all types. So let's get to that. I'm going to take a little break to grab a refill of Kickapoo Joy Juice, and when I get back, I'll make good on that promise. The #1 goal of Flipping Genius is to help you make more money. Become a flipping team member or a flipping partner today. Learn more at flippinggenius.com. Kickapoo Joy Juice. I told you. As someone who has literally gone door to door and pounded the pavement, making cold calls, and in my earlier days of business, I can assure you that I truly appreciate any way, any way to make the process, the process of doing business easier. And while I'm not going to share, rocket science with you, what I'm going to share with you is not something that you probably ever never heard before, but I'll tell you this, it is vital. And I've watched people resist using this technique, this asset, with all their might. I've seen them in every venture that I've been in. While I have to admit, I including me, I've not always been smart enough to do this. It's been a while since since I haven't been smart enough, but I do sort of understand the resistance. What I'm talking about is developing a referral network for everything you do, everything. And I mean everything. I swear, it makes all the difference in the world. When you recognize the reality that people actually want to help others succeed. Maybe not every human on the planet possesses this desire. Not maybe, I know they all don't, but I believe most of us do. And when we also want to be able to share our knowledge, our influence with someone who we feel is deserving, and help them achieve success, especially when that deserving person expresses their gratitude. So, that's part of the deal too. Be deserving and be appreciative and gracious, and then pass along the favor when you can. It's all, yeah, it's kind of just part of being part of society, I think, but it's a really good part, and it's a really important part as you start building this business or any business. I swear, this is a simple process that can help you improve your success with everything from uh, finding a good body shop to finding a buyer for the vehicle that you're ready to flip, without even advertising it, or to finding a good way to say thank you to the people that help you along the way, so they'll recognize you as deserving and gracious. Think about it. Uh, if you can help someone, doesn't it feel good to be asked and to be able? So why not allow someone in your circle to do the same things for you, to help you, help you succeed. And I'm not talking about only the people that you feel are in your immediate circle of friends. I'm talking about uh, every person that you come in contact with. Seriously, I I save the contact information for every person I can. Every person who looks at one of my vehicles, every person who delivers something to my house, every person eh, every person I buy anything from, anything at all, a guitar, a bicycle, a box of coffee, every person, if I can, I do. Um, these contacts are building blocks that keep me from having to reinvent the wheel. Because of this, and because of my less than stellar memory, I also include notes from our conversation that will prompt me to be able to recall our conversations, and any conversation, whether it's about a local sports team, with a guy that I bump into on the street when I'm doing one of my daily walks, or if it's telling me about they're working at a restaurant, maybe somebody that's come to look at one of my vehicles, and we're busy discussing the fact that they don't know how to drive a stick shift, and and they don't want to learn how to drive a stick shift. But then along the way, I learn about what they do at the restaurant and who owns the restaurant and what kind of food they have in the restaurant, because they're actually more interested in talking about things that are more interesting to them. Store that stuff away in your head if you can, on your phone if you can't, or wherever you keep this information. Mine goes into my phone, and it's kind of a magical tool that we all have in our hands now. These things lead to other things. That's my point here. The net result of learning how to ask for referrals and recommendations is just it's expediting and improving life. It's simple as that. For some reason, people are afraid to ask for help. I can understand if you're trying to ask for a loan or a donation or something, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is asking for the slight advantage of another person directing you to an easier path. The key is always, always, always ask. Be asking all the time. Be inquisitive, because first, it shows interest in the other person, and second, it shows promise. You asked, and nobody else did. This is what that deserving characteristic begins to look like. This is how it forms in the mind of your referral source. And then remember to say thank you. So that's the gracious side of it, right? And sometimes that thank you may take the form of just words, just those words. Thank you, I appreciate it. And that's all that's necessary. Sometimes it may be a note or an email or a text saying thank you in addition to saying them, just a follow-up. And sometimes they can be, a box of donuts. Drop a box of donuts at the mechanic shop or the muffler shop or whoever helped you, or take somebody to lunch. And sometimes it can be more, like a more substantial gift. I maybe even a little kick up the chain, a little commission, if that makes sense. But that's a rarity. For me, it's a rarity. Like I said, most people just want to help you succeed. They don't really have to get paid for it. Sometimes it's good, but use your head on that. So here's where to start. Okay. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. And if you have any questions, email me. But here's where to start. Think about it today. Who can help you with what you're trying to accomplish today? And I mean everything. Okay, do you need to find a new nearby dentist, a dentist that's close to you? See, everything. Are you thinking about buying some magnetic signs for the side of your truck, or bandit signs like I've talked about, that tell the world that you buy unwanted vehicles? Or are you wondering if anybody knows of someone who will buy your sweet little Honda Accord once you get it ready, that you're working on right now? Whatever it is, make a list. Even if the list is just one person, a list of potential people who can help. Then either pick up the phone and call, or drive by and see them, or if those are just not doable for you for whatever reason, and I believe those to be much more likely to generate success. But if you have to, then text the message or to them, or ask, use direct messaging, and ask for the help you need from the people you believe may have it to give. And just to explain further, show you what this looks like. Maybe you remember during your conversation you had with your cousin, they mentioned going to a dentist when you saw them at the gas station that's near your house a couple weeks ago. And their dentist is likely in your neck of the woods because they're not usually over that way. So why not call them and ask them to recommend their dentist? It's simple as that. If they like the guy, they'll tell you about him, and now boom, you got a place that to go to the dentist, and you call the dentist. Taking that a little bit further, let's say when you go to the dentist's office, as you're parking your vehicle, you notice the truck from an HVAC outfit that is parked there by the dentist, and then you notice there's a sign in the office next door to the dentist, and that's where their office is. So you got there a couple minutes early. Why not pop in the door and tell them you're going next door to see the dentist? It's kind of a inferred referral. And before you cut out, say you wanted to stop by and see who did their magnetic signs for their trucks, because you're thinking about getting some signs made. Hopefully they give you a good referral to the people that did them. Write that information down, but keep their information too, because if you like the people, there's a good chance you're going to do some referrals to them. Because see, this is the thing, we want this to go both ways, so that when that call comes in and they say, Randy told me to give you a call. Who's Randy? It's that guy that stopped in to ask us about the signs the one day. Make sure you leave your cards too. I buy cars. Make sure you leave those. If you are starting to make this a habit, like I'm recommending, this thing starts to grow. And while you're at the dentist, here you go. While you're at the dentist, in the chair, mention, while they don't have anything in your mouth and you can talk, mention that sweet little Honda we were just talking about. Tell them you just about got one done and you're excited about it, and it'll be ready in about a week. And just ask the doc, is there anybody that you know who can use dependable transportation for a reasonable price? Who knows? His hygienist or somebody that works for him there might be in the market, and you could even ask the doc if he'd be able to front her the money, to do payroll deduction or something. Don't ask him that in front of her though. Okay, ask him that one-on-one, in case there's complications that he'd rather not discuss for one reason or another. And if he says, hey, that's a good idea, because she's always having trouble getting into work, and if she had a good car, she wouldn't have that excuse anymore. And if I could tie the car to the job, she might stick around longer, because I've had some problem with turnover. So if it's a possibility, you might even throw out that you'll throw in the tax and title work, or maybe some other value added thing, maybe a warranty or something, that you'll throw it in on the car because of him easing your burden, that you don't have to market and sell this thing to the open public. I'll tell you, I'm telling you right now, this works. I've had this type of thing result in multiple vehicles sold to numerous employees at one business more than once. This has been the lifeblood of growing every business opportunity that I've been involved in. In fact, new business opportunities and partnerships have been born from these types of conversations. And since I look at this as my primary method of gaining information from, regarding just about everything, not only for business, but for my personal life too, it's become second nature to continually ask and continually look for ways to offer similar help to others. I've tried to do it without them even asking for referrals. I try to send business to people who I want to help. What comes around goes around, and it makes a big difference when people see you doing this for them without them even asking. They start to look out, for business for you, and they do. It's awesome. Now, if you'd like to discuss this more, via the car flipping forum, simply raise the topic. Tag me on the discussion if you'd like my input, or if you just want me to see your input. I'd love to hear some of our listeners and viewers' examples and experiences with developing a referral network. If there are questions or subjects you'd like to, rather bring up with me one-on-one for some reason, something that's personal, feel free to email me directly. It's flippingquestions@gmail.com. It comes right to me, or message me directly on the Facebook through the forum. Um, anyway, I hope that makes you tons of money because it does. It has helped me immensely for decades now. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you this time. I hope it helps you as much as it has me. I'm hoping to create another episode or two before the end of 2023. But just in case I don't, or in case you don't get a chance to hear them, I want to wish everybody who's listening a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I thank you for listening and watching. Please save us as a favorite. Please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Still trying to get that up over 1,000 subscribers. I'd love that to happen before the end of the year. So please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a link in the show notes there. If you're on YouTube, just hit subscribe. Um, big There's a big need. I really need you to do that. And please share Flipping Genius with anybody that you think will benefit from our content. And that's a lot of people these days. Hey, let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses.